Now on BBC Two, Denise Coffey is bound for Germany, where the Pied Piper lives.
Zig zag, zig zag.
Speed, bonny mole, like a thundering thing. La 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 la. Carry the bell, it's going to be thin. Oh, hello there. Just taking in the washing. One of the little problems of living underground is it's not easy to find somewhere to dry all your clothes. And I do like things to be kept nice and fresh in the hypersonic mole. All right, it's untidy. I never said it was tidy. I said it was clean and fresh. Well, it's clean anyway. I'll put these away later. Oh, it's one good thing about the mole. There's no room for my mother to come along. Just me and Esperanto, my faithful bear, travelling in hope together. Please yourself. So, where to this week? Last week it was Switzerland, and now we're going up north to this week's country, Germany, up north. If you say it like that, it's easy to remember that north is up at the top of the map and south is down at the bottom. Down south, up north. But before we get to Germany, there's just time for a German snack. So choose the correct flag for Germany. Black, red and yellow. And here's the food, black bread and sausage. Delicious. Here, Esperanto. Did you know that in German the word for sausage is Wurst? Mind you, it's certainly not the worst thing I've ever tasted. It's a joke, Esperanto. He doesn't think it's funny. Neither do I, really. Sorry about that. Right, on with the journey. Power, check. Transmission, check. Map, check. And off we go! Hypersonic speed! We're going to travel under the North Sea to start with. And the place we want is in the north of Germany. We're looking for Hameln on the river Weser. Here we are! Periscope! Let's have a wee look. And there it is. Spot on navigation. The Weser is in the north of Germany, and as it flows along towards the North Sea, it passes through the town of Hameln. In many ways, Hameln looks an ordinary enough place. It's a typical little German town with a typical German barrel organ to keep the shoppers in the precinct happy. And here's a typical German shop. Know what it is? The notice may give you a clue. Bäckerei.
Bitteschön.
It's a bakery.
Bitte sehr. 5 Brötchen hätte ich gerne. Zu kleinen Partybrötchen. So, 5,55.
Look at all that. German bakeries make lots of different bread and cakes.
Wiedersehen.
But only in Hameln do the bakers make cakes like this. What's he making? I wonder if you can work it out. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. It's a rat. Ooh. With whiskers. And not just one rat, hundreds of them. Fancy a rat for tea? So why are they baking rat cakes anyway? It's because at Hameln, several hundred years ago, something happened that the inhabitants were never to forget. It wasn't just to do with rats. It was about this man, a man playing a pipe. Another big clue. Some of you will have guessed who he is. It's the Pied Piper of Hameln. You'll find the piper and the rats everywhere, on the walls, and on the beer mats, and on the backs of motor cars. And you'll also find them in the main square. For once a week in the summer, these strange events are acted out as a play. The performers who act in the play are ordinary people, like the Nachtigall family. Herr Nachtigall is a policeman and often has to work on Sundays, so he doesn't take part. But the rest of the family all act in the play.
Ich esse lieber die Wurst. Na Jörg, bist du denn noch weiter beim Rattenfinger?
Bjorn, their youngest, plays the part of one of the rats, though he thinks he's getting a bit big for the costumes now. The play is performed on Sunday mornings. Before they leave, they have a good, solid German breakfast. And then it's time to go and get dressed up in their costumes.
Tschüss.
Mach mal deine Haare hoch.
The play starts at midday and there is always a good crowd watching. It's a very popular occasion.
Was zahlt ihr mir für einen Lohn? 100 Dukaten. Ja, 100 Dukaten.
Did you understand that? I didn't. But don't worry, because I've got the whole story here in English, so we won't miss a thing. It's a rattling good tale. The Pied Piper. Hamelin town's in Brunswick by famous Hanover City. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side, a pleasanter spot you never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats! They fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheeses out of the vats and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests inside men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayors are noddy, and as for our corporation, shocking." "Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, to find the remedy we're lacking. or sure as fate we'll send you packing. At this, the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I've scratched it so and all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap! Just as he said this, what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap? Come in, the mayor cried, looking bigger. And in did come the strangest figure. His strange apparel from heel to head was half of yellow and half of red. And he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin. He advanced to the council table, and, "Please your honours," said he, "I'm able, by means of a secret charm, to draw all creatures living beneath the sun that creep or swim or fly or run after me, so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. In Tartary I freed the tram last June from his huge swarms of gnats. I eased in Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I can rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders? 50,000 was the exclamation of the astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe had uttered, you heard as if an army muttered. And the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses the rats came tumbling. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed, dancing. Until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished. You should have heard the Hamelin people ringing the bells till they rocked the steeple. Then suddenly up popped a face. The piper was back in the marketplace. First, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders? The mayor looked blue. So did the corporation, too. To pay this sum to a wandering fellow with gypsy clothes of red and yellow? Beside, quoth the mayor, with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. As for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you very well know, was in joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders! Come, take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, "No trifling, I can't wait. Beside, those folks who put me in a passion may find me piped to a different fashion." "How?" cried the mayor. "Do you think I'll brook being worse treated than a cook? You threaten us, fellow. Do your worst. Blow your pipe there till you burst." Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth, straight cane. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowd justling at pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping and little tongues chattering, and like fowls in a farmyard when barley is scattering, out came the children. The mayor was dumb, and the council stood as if they were changed into blocks of wood. But how the mayor was on the rack, and the council's bosom beat as the piper turned from the high street to where the Weser rolled its waters right in the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and to Koppelberg Hill his steps addressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never can cross the mighty top. He's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When, lo, as they reached the mountain's side, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed, and the piper advanced, and the children followed, and when all were in to the very last, the door in the mountain side shut fast. Did I say all? No. One was lame and could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you would blame his sadness, he was used to say, "It's dull in our town since my playmates left. I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me. For he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town and just at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers put forth a fairer hue, and everything was strange and new." Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, by famous Hanover City. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you never spied.
Next Monday, at the same time, the children discover a friendly ghost in the Tower of London, and Denise Coffey retells the story of King Arthur. A BBC book is available to accompany this term's Zig Zag programmes. It's called Tales from Europe and is written by Kevin Crossley-Holland, well known for his adaptations of myths and legends. It's full of colourful illustrations and contains stories from 9 European countries. Some of the stories will be familiar, some will be new. It costs £4.99, and if you'd like an order form for the book or the teacher's notes that accompany the series, then please ring BBC Education information on this familiar number, 081 746 1111. The retail trade is one of the toughest, most competitive industries in the world. In the geography programme at 11:55 this morning, Rob Curling reports from the front line, our local high streets. Well, if your local school is planning an Olympic topic this term, you might like to consider joining the Ollie Club for young people, set up by the British Olympic Association in connection with BBC Radio 5. Class membership costs £12.50 and entitles you to a quarterly newsletter, an Olympic poster and free entry to sporting and non-sporting venues. Membership can also buy a fact pack containing, among other things, information on the history of the Olympic Games. For further information, please contact the British Olympic Association on this number. It's 081 871 9911.